Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Model Monday Live. See, I'm clipping a little bit here. Let me see if I can dial this sound in. I get so excited about Model Monday Live. What a great way to start the week, right? It's a little bit dark in here. See if we can fix that a little too. We can fix it all here. We got all the technology. What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Azia Sai says, here for the first time. Welcome on Model Monday Live. Victor K is here. What's up? What's up? Aaron C says, do any of you guys have portfolios? Finally getting around to making one. Nice. We can all help out. Aaron C, MVP in the chat. Henry Wright says, hi, Toby. Glad I finally caught a live chat. You've been so much help in helping me learn SolidWorks. It's awesome. Thanks so much, Henry. Appreciate that. And very glad to hear that it's been helpful. Ex Machina is here. Says, hello, people. Getting anxious for my match. From now, LOL. Yes, indeed. The training before the championship. Yes, indeed. And guys, Mr. Alex is here. First one in the chat. Says, hello, everyone. LCR Brick Tech is here. Hey, Toby, can't wait for the live stream to start. Running Onshape. That's awesome. Amir is here. What's up? What's up? Welcome. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 3D. Hey, Toby, cheers from Uruguay. Yo, what's up? What's up to everybody in Uruguay? Thank you for joining us today. Great seeing you in here today. Jern is here. What's up? What's up? Xaria says, hi, all. Finally back. We missed you. Welcome back, Xaria. Great to see you in here again. Great to see everyone choosing to join us here on Model Monday Live to get their week started. It's been a wild couple of weeks, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as the live stream proceeds. But guys, I know what you are all here for, some live 3D CAD challenges. So let's get into it so that we can get you started with your challenges on this epic Model Monday Live. Bob Phelps says hello from Iowa. What's up, Bob? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thomas Glaciar is here. Welcome, Tomas. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you in here. Great to see everybody in here. Great to be back on this beautiful Monday. Just made it back from the office, yes. Ram Bros is here. What's up? What's up? Ciro is here. Says hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Greetings from Switzerland. Yes. Nice. Very nice. Guys, my name is TooTallToby. I am a certified Onshape professional. I am a certified SolidWorks expert. I got a ton of certifications up here behind me. And today, we are going to get into it with another episode of Model Monday Live, your weekly live stream to give you a chance to participate in 3D CAD eSports. It's you versus the rest of the chat who can take a 2D print and turn it into a 3D model the fastest. And today we have an epic lineup. We've got 2 3D CAD speed modeling challenges for you, the chat. We've got some tournament updates. I'm going to do a live solve using Onshape. And of course, we're going to interact with the best chat ever. The live solve I'm going to do today is going to be this one here, the Shark Arm. This is one that we posted back in 2023. This is from December of 2023. We've also seen this model in a few tournaments, and this is a model that I've done in SolidWorks as a live solve, but I had a question in the comments. Have you done this one in Onshape? That's from Ken Haley, a regular commenter in the comment section. So no, Ken, I have not done it yet in Onshape, but I will do it for you today. We will see how to create this model using Onshape. This model's pretty interesting. I'm going to make sure that we give ourselves enough time to go through this one, because this section here, you can solve it a couple of different ways. This kind of tombstone shape. Whoops, we can't see it because of that comment. There we go. This kind of tombstone shape here. You could create a new sketch plane and then sketch this tombstone and extrude it down into the body. But there are other ways. There's another way you can do that that's pretty interesting. So we're going to show that today during the live solve. So with that, let's get into it. Like I said, I know why all of you are here. You are all here for the weekly 3D CAD speed modeling challenges. And I am here to deliver. And guys, don't forget, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like these kinds of 3D CAD challenges, take a moment and hit the like button. I always forget to remind you until after the challenge actually begins. So we got 34 people watching. It looks like we got 7 likes on the video. Let's see what we can do to get that up. Now we got 15 likes. That's what I like to see. Let's keep smashing that like button. When the live stream is over, come on back and add some comments down below. All these things help kind of tickle the algorithm, make sure that we keep getting pushed up in the rankings, and that we can continue to spread the good word of competitive 3D CAD. Hit that like button. That's right. Let's see what we can do about getting those likes up. W. Gibeon says, I'm here to tickle. Thank you. Thank you. Very much appreciated. All right, guys, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a 2D print, and I'm going to challenge you to turn that into a 3D model. The goal of this exercise is to create that 3D model and then to calculate the mass. And of course, you want to make sure that you enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. Directly into the YouTube chat. LCR BrickTech says, what mic are we using today? We're just using a regular pod mic from Rode pod mic. Great mic. So your goal is to take this 3D model, this 2D drawing, turn it into a 3D model, calculate the mass, and then enter your answer directly into the YouTube chat. And the first person to answer correctly will be declared the winner. Now, you can answer more than once. Sometimes we see people answer 2, 3, 4 times. Whatever your final answer is, that's what you're locking in on. So, you know, if you wanted to do anything like create the model, come up with an answer, and then realize like, oh, I got the wrong answer, you can always go back and adjust and go back and adjust and go back and adjust. Just be careful. If you adjust too many times, you might end up putting in the wrong answer for your final answer. And of course, that is not the case in the tournament. In the tournament, you can only answer incorrectly one time, and then it becomes kind of like this is your final chance to get it right. So it's a little bit different in the tournament. But today, if you get it wrong on your first answer, don't worry about it. You can go back in and you can edit and you can re-answer a second, third, fourth time. So the basic rules are you can use any 3D CAD package. We have people here using all kinds of different CAD packages. Take a moment and type into the chat, what are you using for your 3D CAD today? It's always very interesting to see all the different 3D CAD programs that users are running. So just take a moment, start typing into the chat. Let me know, what 3D CAD package are you using today? Onshape, Inventor, Fusion. I like it, I like it, I like it. Make sure when you answer this challenge, you use the specified precision. Ex Machina says, a Libre design expert. Yeah, baby. I like it, I like it. The first person to answer correctly in the chat to create the model, to calculate the mass, and to type that mass into the chat will be declared the winner, will earn a point on our Model Monday Live leaderboard, which updates every week over at TooTallToby.com. If you're here for the first time, use your screen capture software, Windows Snipping Tool or Snagit or whatever screen capture tool you use, MW Snap, whatever screen capture tool you use, grab a screen capture of this screen right here, because this will show you the material density that we use. Just because your CAD program has plain carbon steel doesn't necessarily mean it's using the same density that I'm using. So make sure you get the correct material density. Grab a screen capture of this screen right here. And the advanced rules are, this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. I will make mistakes from time to time, and we'll have to do kind of an audible. And the Ivan exploit is permitted. For those of you who are not familiar with the Ivan exploit, I've been working on a video with Aaron C. He's been out for the past couple of weeks, so the video got put on hold. But that video is going to be coming any day now, and you guys are going to get to all learn about what the Ivan exploit is. And the Ivan exploit is permitted during these challenges. Video coming soon. Hit the like button if you're excited about that video. Alrighty. Ex Machina says, quick tip, if you have multiple screens, press Control-Alt Print Screen will capture only the last screen you clicked on. Oh, that's cool. And then you could maybe paste that into like MS Paint or something like that. I use paint.net. Shout out to paint.net. Free software, paint.net. I like it. All right, guys, here we go. This first challenge begins as soon as the 2D print shows up on the screen. Let me flip over to full screen here. And your first challenge on this August 26th episode of Model Monday Live begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? The tolerance for this one is plus or minus 1 gram. XXX, so 3 significant digits. And this is just a tier 3 part for complexity. You can see down on the title block, the complexity of this part is tier 3. It's called corner standoff. It's made from 1060 aluminum alloy, which has a density of 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. And this part is using millimeters as the unit. So when you start your new document, make sure you specify millimeters. Make sure that at some point you assign a material, and make sure that material has the same density that we're looking at in this model here. Corner, standoff, some kind of an alignment tool. There's probably a rod that has a little keyway or like a wood drift key sticking out the side that has to slide down into that little slot, that little 4mm slot. The model does have centerline symmetry, so anything you do on one side of the model, you're going to make sure you do it the same way on the other side of the model. And guys, sometimes I add in these little like, let me see if I can, I'll show it to you in a second. Sometimes I add in notation like that radius 12 that's coming from the center point of the hole. That is usually significant. That is usually a required bit of information to calculate the entire model. So not only to calculate the location of those holes, but sometimes to calculate other things. So, you know, be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Take a screen capture of this print, begin modeling, and when you come up with the mass, type that mass directly into the chat. It's a very special day here on Model Monday Live. We do have with us the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, none other than Victor K, the 2023 world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling is in the chat. This is your chance to compete against the best of the best. And we also have our third place finisher, Aaron C, in the chat. So you get to compete against both the champion and the third place finisher. Guys, these are the notes I was talking about. This radius 12, you notice how this radius 12 has a leader that originates at the center of this hole. The leader for that radius 12 originates from the center of that hole. Well, what that means is the distance from here to here is 12 millimeters, right? It's 12 millimeters from there to there. Same thing up here in this upper left corner. You can see that the beginning of the leader for the radius 12 starts at the center point of that circle. Well, what that means is the distance to, you know, for example, the distance to this center mark here from this point of tangency is 120 plus 12. Okay, because you have to factor in that radius coming from the center of that hole. So whenever you see those notes where the radius is coming from the same location as the center of the hole itself, you know, that's significant. That's going to help you understand what the offset is from the center of that hole to that radius. So be on the lookout for those. They occur not only in my prints, but they occur in the real world as well. I probably overuse them compared to the real world. But that's because I've got a limited palette upon which I can create my art. So we have to make sure that we work within the confines of that palette. LCR Bricktech says, "Hey Toby, maybe we can collab on a video speed modeling in Onshape." Yes, I would love that. We could definitely figure out something along those lines, guys. We are heading into tournament season. It's been a little bit of a crazy summer, especially this final month of the summer. We've had a lot going on in the world of TooTallToby on the corporate side, if you will. We've also had a lot going on in the background on the personal side of things. It's been a very unusual summer, a very exciting summer. A lot of changes happening around the homestead. So it's been a little bit chaotic, and that's why you haven't seen quite as much content coming out from us. But it has been a very, very exciting summer, and we have a lot of stuff on the horizon as well. A lot of stuff going on in the background to kind of help develop and enhance the experience of TooTallToby. So you guys are going to see a lot of announcements happening during this tournament season. And of course, tournament season itself is upon us. And so that's going to make for a very busy time as well. So LCR Bricktech, I'm definitely excited in doing something like that. It just might have to be a bit of a rain check due to all the other obligations on the plate right now. But hopefully in the future, we can do more collaboration with the members of the community. I would love that. I think Onshape's a great platform to do that too. I see some answers coming in already. Looks like Ricardo Jean came in with an answer, really fast answer. Victor K came in with an answer. Aaron C. Guys, we don't know if those answers are correct or not. So you guys, everybody else who's out there, keep coming in with these answers. If anybody can answer this in the next 10 minutes, it's super impressive. So keep on chugging away at that challenge. And for those of you who are done, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share and reshare. Don't forget, each week, your challenge is to walk up to one coworker and remind them about the channel. We went to a wedding this weekend. I talked to a couple people who are engineers, and they had not yet heard of the channel. So, there's still opportunity out there to grow the channel. I'm still running into random people across the country who have not heard of TooTallToby. So we got to get out there. We got to make sure we continue to spread the word about the challenges, the 3D CAD as an eSport. What would you call it? Paradigm? Evolution? And guys, don't forget, if you are enjoying the channel and you are getting value, we always welcome value back in return. You can visit us in the super chat on this very live stream. You can visit us in super thanks if you're watching the recording. And you can always go to the website, www.TooTallToby.com/donate. A great place to continue to support the channel, to kind of keep the doors open, and to help us move into that next evolution of the platform. And I want to say thank you so much to Dale W. and Sylvain. These users have gone in and set up a monthly recurring donation. Always very much appreciated. It's kind of like you're setting up like a membership, but it's like a volunteer membership. And Dale W. and Sylvain have set that up and have been contributing monthly. So huge thank you to Dale W. and to Sylvain for that monthly contribution. And we would love to grow this list to 20 people or 200 people or 2,000 people, And you can do that all over at TooTallToby.com/donate. All right, guys, let's get into the news a little bit here. One thing that we've got right on the horizon this week, we are going to be teaching a class on CSWP Prep. CSWP Prep. So if you guys are interested in becoming a certified SolidWorks professional, well, I have built a perfect class for you. It's 2 days long. It's going to be live with me. You can email Vicky at TooTallToby.com if you want to become a member of that class. It's a relatively small class still. I know it's kicking off this week, so that's not much time to plan, but we would love to see you in that class. We'd love to give you all the tools you need to get through a certified SolidWorks professional exam and to earn that CSWP token. So certified SolidWorks professional class this week. And then we have a class on the horizon. I'm not sure if it's going to run or not due to limited registration. But if we do run the class, it'll be September 4th and 5th next week. And that one's going to be on intermediate assembly techniques. So if you guys are interested in like large assembly management, tips and tricks on how to add mates a little bit quicker, on how to manage sub-assemblies, lightweight, learning how to troubleshoot slower assemblies. These are all things that we talk about in this class, as well as advanced mates and tons of shortcuts. So if you're interested in learning more about SolidWorks assemblies or CSWP prep, you can register by emailing Vicky at TooTallToby.com. The classes are 2 days long. It's $500 total for the class per student. And that is a great way for you to get almost like a boot camp, real quick 2-day training and get better in SolidWorks, get some, faster designs created. And of course, when the class is done, you'll get a certificate. I always like to remind people of this because sometimes if you're working with your training department, they've got a training budget. They'll pay for the class for you, so you don't even have to pay for the class. They just need some kind of proof that the class was completed at the end of class, and so we certainly will provide that as well. And when it comes to Onshape, you guys know I'm in love with Onshape. I'm using it every single day now. And when it comes to Onshape, there is kind of some free training for Onshape on their YouTube channel, youtube.com/OnShapeInc. It's a 77-minute video showing the full step-by-step process of creating this assembly. Really, really good video that I posted a couple months ago on the Onshape channel, and definitely a great way to get up to speed in Onshape in a very condensed period of time. You can spend one afternoon doing this video and following the PDF guidebook, and at the end of the afternoon, you're going to know everything you need to know to get started with basic assemblies in Onshape. And of course, I am a certified Onshape Pro. I know I made this announcement a few weeks ago, but I'm still kind of flying on cloud 9 with this accomplishment. Not an easy exam, 3 hours long. It cost $100 to take the exam, and managed to get through it, and it was a lot of fun. Shubham Jagtop in the chat says, what is the best Solid Edge or SolidWorks if all conditions are the same? You can find that out in the upcoming CAD vs. CAD tournament. All CAD are welcome. I don't know if Solid Edge actually entered, but that's a great way to find out the answer to that question. Or if you have a Solid Edge user and a SolidWorks user, you could have them both do the practice models section at TooTallToby.com. If you go to TooTallToby.com/practice, here, I've got this up here. TooTallToby.com. This is my Nikola Tesla account here. If you go to TooTallToby.com and you click practice models here or free practice, you can see that there's a list of almost 70 different challenges. There's a list of all these challenges. And what happens is you click into one of these challenges. Like I'll click in here to 01-12. This is a tier 4 challenge here. So I'll say click here to practice. And then when I click here to practice, I'm going to go down to the bottom and say click here to begin and reveal drawing. And once I reveal that drawing, you can see here that the 2D print is shown on the screen here. Here's the 2D print shown on the screen. And so what I can do then is I can attempt to model that 2D print, and I can attempt to calculate the mass. So very similar to what we're doing here on the Model Monday Live episode, you can do this yourself over and over and over again. Practice turning 2D models into, or 2D prints into 3D models, and you can practice against a clock. So if you know someone who is a good Solid Edge user, you could both do the same challenge, and you could see who is able to do it faster, and that might help answer that question. Which is best, Solid Edge or SolidWorks, if all conditions are the same? It's what we set out to find here on the TooTallToby channel. Guys, if you're not familiar with the practice models, check it out, TooTallToby.com/practice. A great way to go through and get some practice. And the other thing I want to mention here about those practice models is that we have had a lot more activity on the Discord channel. So if you have any questions about those practice models, you can hit up the Discord here. There's a link right in the app where you can jump to the Discord, and then you can ask questions. And huge shout out to all the people in Discord who have been answering those questions. When people come in and they've got questions about specific models, we've got a great team in there that's helping to answer all those questions. So huge shout out all the volunteers in the Discord. Thank you so much. You guys all know who you are. Guys, the tournament is upon us. We are in the World Championship season. The World Championship events are going to take place on the 30th, the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, the 27th, the 4th, and then the final on October 18th. If you go to TooTallToby.com/calendar, you can see all these dates. I'll remind you of that in just a few minutes. And in this tournament, we're going to see all Tier 3 and more difficult. All the challenges are going to be Tier 3 or harder difficulty. There's going to be sweeps and lofts with guide curves. There's going to be sheet metal challenges, and there's going to be multi-body and multi-material challenges. So this is what you can expect to see from the Wheel of Fate. These are the types of models that you can expect to see being challenged during the tournament, and that tournament begins this Friday, August 30th. And I want to, of course, thank our super fans. We had some support of this tournament. Bob Evans was able to help support this tournament, help get some money into the prize pool for our runners. So thank you so much to Bob Evans. Couldn't do any of this without our amazing fans. And if you want to get on that list, you can email Vicky at TooTallToby.com and become a super fan for the tournament, kind of a different way of sponsoring the tournament. And, of course, we do have a corporate sponsor for the tournament, none other than 3D Connection, putting up some amazing prizes for our runners, some 3D Space Mouse, 3D Connection Space Mouse, 3D Connection Space Navigators, some other prize packages. We're going to have details of all those prize packages this Friday. But we're gonna have some great packages, not only for the winners, but for all the runners, and maybe even some prizes for people who are in the chat. So we've got some great prizes for everyone. We're going to announce all those prizes on Friday. Aaron C. beginning the Super Chat train. Thank you so much, Aaron C. Says, choo-choo, Super Chat train, all aboard. Let's go. Thank you so much, Aaron C. Very much appreciated. More money going into the prize pool for the tournament. That's what we like to see. So, guys, without further ado, let me begin to introduce to you the Sweet 16 for this tournament. We're going to start out with Great Nate using Fusion 360. I think Great Nate was up top on our leaderboard. These are in no particular order. Mr. Alex put up an awesome time on the leaderboard. Mr. Alex running SolidWorks. Congratulations, Mr. Alex. We also have some alternates who were going to compete this week, but had to drop out. So we're reaching out to some of the alternates. So if you're watching and you're on the leaderboard, check your email, get registered as an alternate. Continuing with our Sweet 16, we got Ricardo Jean, old friend of the channel, old friend of the tournament, taking a run at it from Italy using SolidWorks. And we got K Customs from Greece using SolidWorks as well. We got Pedro Tavares from Brazil using Inventor. Remember, we had Will from Brazil in the last tournament using SolidWorks. Now we got Pedro from Brazil using Inventor. And we got Dom from the United States. Dom was in our Final Four in the last tournament. Great to see him in here again, running SolidWorks. Really had some epic matches with Imants. Great to see Dom in here again in the Sweet 16. Yes, Ex Machina in the chat. Let's give some special shout-outs to the people in the chat. Mr. Alex is in the chat. I don't think Great Nate is in the chat. Ricardo is usually in the chat. I think I saw him come in maybe with the first answer, if I remember. Let's take a look. Yeah, oh, yeah, Ricardo is here in the chat. And K Customs, I don't think K Customs is in the chat. Pedro is, I don't think, in the chat. Dom, sometimes Dom is in the chat. Oh, yeah. Ricardo Jean continuing the super chat train. Thank you guys so much. Very much appreciate it. And continuing with our Sweet 16, we got Ace. I think Ace is in the chat. I thought I saw him here earlier. He's usually in the chat with us, and he is running SolidWorks. We got Overfly, new competitor using a new CAD system, 3DZW, I think it's called. We got Overfly from Switzerland. We got Ex Machina in the chat, old friend of the show, running a Libre, putting up an epic time on the leaderboard. And from Greece as well, Ex Machina, let's go. ZW3D, thank you. I thought maybe I said that wrong. Alrighty, and we got Ty here. What's up? Welcome, Ty. Formerly from Australia, but this time representing his home country of Turkey. Awesome. Welcome. JP says, cool content. Love your content. Thanks. Thank you for the tricks. You are welcome. And we got Titanium joining us using Inventor Pro. Awesome. Great to see an Inventor user in here. We got Alessino. We've been reaching out to Alessino from Canada using SolidWorks. Haven't heard back from him, so we may have another alternate here on the plate. We got Rambros running Fusion 360 from India. Rambros is in the chat. I saw him in the chat earlier. And we got none other than Crispyco, who's probably asleep right now because he is in Australia. But Crispyco always goes into the comments and puts a tutorial of the runs from Model Monday Live. So we love seeing his content, and great to see him in the tournament as well. And Xaria putting up 50 NOK. Thank you so much for continuing this super train. And Mr. Alex, go, TTT train. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate all the support, all the value for value. Glad that you are seeing a lot of value from this channel, and glad that we are able to give some back. Really appreciate it. Aaron C says, so many big names in this tournament and so many newcomers. Super cool to see. And K Customs is in the chat. Says, hello, chat. Hello, Toby. K Customs is here in the tournament, running SolidWorks from Greece. Awesome. Welcome. Great to see all of these epic runners. These runners had to complete these 3 models in a very short period of time. And here you can see the top 10. Looks like our 10th place runner, Dom, finished in 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And all the other times were under 5, were from that number down, from 5 minutes down. So really impressive to be able to do 3 models in just 5 minutes. Awesome job to everybody in the tournament. And I completely agree with what Aaron C is saying. So many big names in this tournament, so many newcomers. Super cool to see. Yes, indeed. And if you want to see this tournament, go to TooTallToby.com/calendar. You'll see that on each of the dates of the tournament, I've included a calendar event, and I've included a link directly to the live stream. So now you can just go through your calendar and you can add all of those events to your calendar right with the live stream. So you get the notification and you have a link directly to the live stream. These are going to take place Friday at 1 p.m., except for the final event, which is going to take place at 6 p.m. East Coast, but again, on a Friday. So it's going to be Friday tournaments this season. And we talked about the Discord already, so that's it for now. Thank you again so much for supporting the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to share and reshare whenever we post stuff online. And don't forget that we do have some training classes coming up. We are trying to get some students into these classes, so email Vicky if you have any questions about these classes. But we'd love to see a few more students in these classes. Vicky@TooTallToby.com. All right, let's get into it with our first answer here. This was a pretty fun challenge, Tier 3 challenge, and this challenge had answers from a lot of people, so congratulations to anybody who got this in the limited amount of time we had. But the first answer we saw was from Ricardo Jean, 195 grams, Victor K, 165, revising to 195, Aaron C, 195 grams, Ram Bros coming in with 195, Ex Machina. I love seeing all these names of people who are going to be in the tournament coming up with these answers. 195 grams, Ozzy coming in 195 grams. We got Mr. Alex, 251 grams, Amir, 195 grams. grams. Bob Phelps, 195 grams. Mr. Alex revising to 195 grams. XRE at 195. Mr. Alex, again, 195. Sharor, what's up, Sharor? Great seeing you. 195. I was thinking 186 grams. Very nice. LCR BrickTech, 195 grams. And let's go. And I think that's pretty much it. LCR BrickTech, 195. Watch that extra zero there, LCR BrickTech. All right, here we go. The correct answer is 195 grams. So congratulations to Ricardo Jean. Very nice, very speedy. My goodness, that was a very, very fast model. And this is a tier 3 model. This is a tier 3 model. You can see the tier ranking down here in the corner. This is a tier 3 model. So this is the lowest possible model type that we're going to see in the tournament, and it's just going to get harder and harder as the tournament advances. So tier 3 model here. You know, in the Sweet 16, we'll probably see tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, kind of like a mixed bag, depending on what the Wheel of Fate gives you, and then it'll get more and more complicated as the tournament goes on. Higher levels of complexity, but not necessarily difficulty. That just depends on the runner. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that challenge. Let's jump right into our second challenge here. We're going to flip over to full screen, and this second challenge on today's episode of Model Monday Live begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? The tolerance is plus or minus 2 grams. Now, guys, this one is a little bit tricky, I'm going to admit. And the reason it's tricky is because of that magenta Toby note right in the middle, right in that first isometric view. Elliptical profile, constant width, 18 millimeters. So you have to know how to sketch an ellipse, first of all. You might not even know how to do that. You have to know how to constrain an ellipse. And then you have to know how to make that ellipse do exactly what you want it to do, to follow 2 curves. 2 curves. So Ex Machinus has got to go, guys. I don't know if that's because of this model type or if he's got other obligations, but great seeing you in here again, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Aaron C says, tier 3s are a pain because I'm only good at hard stuff. There you go. It's always someone who crushes me at the tier 3 and tier 4 ones. Yeah, I have thought about that. I mean, there's a lot to that. I think that's why it's important to have the Wheel of Fate decide who gets what and to have a little bit of variety in there. Maybe some tier 3s, some tier 4s, maybe even a couple of tier 5s sprinkled in there during the Sweet 16. All right, this part is in millimeters. It's in plain carbon steel, and the material density is 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. Pretty cool part here. I like this part. It's a little tricky. I modeled this in a couple of different CAD systems. The first one, it was very straightforward and easy. The second one, had to come up with a little bit more of a tricky solution. But ultimately, I was able to get the correct mass within tolerance. So, good luck. The curved alignment post. How would you model this part in your 3D CAD system? That's what we're going to find out. Just taking a sip of my delicious water. I think I set my coffee down somewhere else, so no coffee until the end of the stream. That's all right. All right, everybody. Let's continue on. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I like these kinds of models. Tier 4 complexity. Probably could be tier 5. This one, you know, the complexity is kind of based on how many features it actually needs. This model doesn't really need that many features, but if you don't know how to do it, it sure could be a stumper. Guys, if you like these kinds of challenges and you want to watch live the World Championship 2024 TooTallToby's 3D CAD speed modeling, it's going to take place Friday, October 18th, 6 p.m. Be there. Add it to your calendar. Be there. You do not want to miss this one. All right. Well, while everyone from the chat is working on that challenge, it's kind of a cool challenge, that curved alignment post. while everyone from the chat is working on that, I think it'll be a good time for us to do an Onshape live solve, and we are going to attempt to live solve this model here. This comes from the practice models from the end of 2023, the September practice or the December practice model. This one was called Shark Arm because it looks like a shark. We saw this one in a tournament, and whenever I'm looking at a 3D model, I always kind of go through the same steps. The first thing I do is I look at the model and I ask myself, does the model have symmetry? And the reason that's important is because that's going to help me to locate my front plane or my top plane or my right plane. So this model does have symmetry, so my front plane is going to be right here. And then the next thing that I do once I determine the model has symmetry is I start to ask myself, how am I going to build this model? You know, what's going to be my very first feature? And to determine your very first feature, you want to look for things like dimensions that are all coming from the same datum or the same reference point. So like this 155, this 80 dimension, it's all coming from this location right here. And so it seems like this might be a good location for my origin. Maybe my origin ends up right at the center of this circular shape here. So whenever I'm looking at a brand new 2D print and I'm going from 2D to 3D, I always kind of go through and ask myself the same questions. Where are the planes of symmetry? How are those planes of symmetry going to convert to planes in my model? So this model does have symmetry. There's a plane right here. That'll probably be the front plane of my model. Then the next question, where's the origin going to be in this model? The origin is going to be right here, right at the center of this circle. And then that lets me answer the next question. What is my very first feature going to look like? And I think that in this model, my very first feature is just going to be a circle that gets extruded, and it's going to be extruded mid-plane or symmetric in both directions. And that's going to give me my very first feature. And then my second feature maybe would be this circle back here. Again, extruded symmetric or the same in both directions. And then maybe my third feature would be a sketch that has a center line going through it. So like a center line going right through the middle of the part. And then it would be a sketch that looks something like this. And when I revolve that, when I use the center line to revolve this shape, I'm going to end up with a cone. And you can see here, this is a conical face. So I'm going to end up with a cone. And then for my final feature, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a new sketch plane kind of offset at an angle up in this location, and then I can create this tombstone shape, and I can extrude this tombstone shape down and into the rest of the model. And that's how I created the model when I did it the first time. But then I watched the tournament, and I saw Victor K do this a very different way with that feature. And so I'm going to make sure that we leave enough time that I can show you that as well. So just as a quick review, whenever I'm creating a new model from a 2D print going to a 3D model, think about the planes of symmetry. Where's your front plane going to be? Think about where the origin should be located, and then you can start figuring out what's my first sketch going to look like and what are my subsequent features going to look like. Kind of come up with a game plan of how you're going to create the model. So for me, the game plan is going to be circle, extrude, trapezoid here that gets revolved, and then a tombstone shape that gets extruded. That's kind of the order of my features, and then I'll go back through and do all the cuts. So let's do a Windows snipping tool here. I'm just going to use the traditional Windows snipping tool here. Going to move this over to my second screen so that I can go through and try to model up this part. I'm going to get into Onshape here. So Onshape, my 3D CAD program of choice these days. So we'll get into Onshape here, and let's see how long it takes to create this model and kind of what this walkthrough would look like in Onshape. I'm going to bring up my keyboard cam here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing as far as hotkeys go. I'm going to choose create a document. This is going to be created in the public space. So that means at any time in the future, if you want to look up this model, you could look up 23-12-01-shark arm. So I'm going to say create public document. And so what that means is, just so you guys can see what this looks like, let me close this document. If you go into Onshape, if you log into Onshape and you go over here on the left to where it says public, and then if you do a search here in public for shark arm, you can see if there's anybody else who's modeled this part. So this is always really exciting for me to kind of see how other people are going through and modeling this part. And look at all the different Onshape users that have modeled this part. I think it's just so cool And of course, you could open up one of these models and you could poke through somebody else's feature tree. So, this model here was modeled by Larry. I saw the username before I opened it. And what I can do here is I can click on this button here, versions and history, and then I can actually go back and look at where Larry started with this model. So he started way back here at the very beginning of this part studio. What was the first feature that Larry created in this model? So even though it's not my model, if I'm just opening it up from the public space, I can actually go all the way back to the very beginning here. Go all the way back here to the very beginning. And when I go all the way back to the very beginning, I can see what the very first feature was that Larry used to create this model. And I think that's so cool that you can do that in Onshape, and you can kind of poke through somebody else's work and actually see all the steps that they did to create a model. The true, every single change you make in Onshape is captured. So you can actually see the true entire history of anyone's model, not just your own, and not just by rolling through the tree. You're actually seeing every single step that they did. Every single change you make is logged in that document. So very cool stuff here. Let me close this document. Let's go into our own here, owned by me. And we're going to go into this shark arm that we just created. And let's get started with this model in Onshape. We're going to stick to the game plan. Front plane, begin a sketch. So I press S to bring up my sketching menu, begin a new sketch here, press N to get normal 2. I'm going to press S again here, and I'm going to create a circle. Now, my very first feature is going to be this 77 millimeter diameter circle, my very first sketched entity, and I'm just going to extrude that as a solid. But that doesn't mean that I only include that information in this first sketch. I can include a lot of information in this first sketch, like this 43 millimeter diameter circle and like a rectangle here. This rectangle is going to have a width of 16 millimeters, and the depth of this rectangle, I'm not sure, it's not that dimension, so I'm just going to hit escape. And then what I could do is I could take this this line here and pick the origin. And remember, in Onshape, you don't have to hold control or anything to do multi-select. You have what's called persistent selection. So I pick this line, I pick this point. Now you see the mouse is telling me that I have 2 things selected. And then I can press Shift-M. That's a shortcut for midpoint. And now I can press S again and go into a dimension from this arc to this line. And that keyway is going to be at 50 millimeters. And so similarly, I could create the geometry for the circle over here on this end that's going to end up getting extruded. So I could make a circle over here. I could say that circle is going to have a diameter of 40. I could make another circle here. I could say that circle is going to have a diameter of 20. And I can make sure that these are horizontal. It looks like it is showing a horizontal relationship. And so I could just finish up by adding in a dimension, maybe from this plane to this point of 155. Now, kind of continuing this idea, I certainly could also include the revolved sketch, the revolve information in this first sketch, or I could save that for a separate sketch. We each have to decide, when a sketch gets a little too complicated, when there's too much in one sketch. Maybe we just decide to leave the sketch like this, or maybe we decide to get in there and create the additional geometry because it's going to have tangency relationships to these lines. So this arc and this line, I'm going to press T, make those tangent, this line, this arc, T, make those tangent. Since that tangency is going to be part of that original of the geometry that I'm going to be using, maybe it makes sense to include that geometry. And then here's a little trick that I'm doing that, if I want to create a line here and I want it to be exactly vertical to that point, but Onshape isn't recognizing where that point is, you can just kind of hold your cursor over that point and it almost like wakes it up. And that way you could drop in a point here directly below. And there we go. Now we have the sketch that we're going to end up using for our revolved shape when we get to that conical shape that's running down the model. So I think that's a pretty good amount of information here for this first sketch. Let's S key extrude. And by default, Onshape just kind of grabs the entire profile. So I'm going to press the space bar. Space bar is kind of like clear selections in Onshape. And then I'm just going to choose certain regions of this sketch to extrude. So I am going to extrude the whole thing here. I'm going to save this keyway geometry for a little bit later in the design. So I'm going to just kind of go through and get everything from that region. I'm going to press the tab key to advance through to the depth. 110, tab, 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 space bar for symmetric, and then I'm going to press enter to finish that feature. Now I can show this sketch, and then I can jump into the extrude command again, and this time I could choose maybe these regions here, and I can choose to extrude those regions, tab, tab, tab. This is going to extrude to 60, tab, 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 space, enter. So I'm using the space bar to hit that tick mark for symmetric and then enter to finish out the command. And so now I could jump into a revolve command. And so for the revolve region, it's going to be this region and this region inside here. Let's get this region. Sometimes you have to press the tilde key to kind of get that internal region. See if we can get it there. There we go. And tilde in this region here, get that internal region, and tilde here to get that internal region. Actually, you know, looking at this, I probably don't actually need all these different regions, but then we'll pick this for the revolve axis. And so there you go. Now you see we're taking that one sketch and we're using that sketch again to revolve that sketch around that geometry. And so now we're going to say that we want that to be an add. So new is going to make a new body down here or a new part down here. You'll see that, you know, that first cylinder I made, then the second cylinder I made, they're not connected to each other. So Onshape thinks those are two different parts. But now when I go to make this third one, instead of making that a third part, I can use this option here for add, and I can say merge with all. Merge with all. And so when I do merge with all, now I can hit the check mark, and there we go. That's a pretty good looking shape. That's our shark body there. I think that looks pretty darn good. And so now for the next feature, what I might do is go to the front plane, begin a sketch, orient my view, make a line, and I'm going to click on this point here and make this line at a distance of 80 millimeters. And then that line is going to be at an angle of 33 degrees. So 33 degrees there. And then what I can do is I can exit that sketch. I can pick that line, pick the end point of that line. So again, this persistent selection in Onshape. I pick this line here. I pick the end point of the line. Now you can see I've got two things selected. And now I can just go up and choose plane. And when I choose plane, you can see here that it's Onshape is automatically selecting point normal. I have a video about this on the Onshape channel talking about how to create planes and talking about how you kind of like pre-cook your selection for a plane. So this is going to be point normal, and then I'm going to hit the green check mark here, and now you see I've got a new plane created up in that location. And so now I can pick that plane, begin a sketch, orient my view, and I can begin sketching that tombstone shape. So the tombstone shape is going to come up here, come back, touch the end point, come up and around, and then that's going to have a radius of 26. And then I'm going to bring that tombstone shape down. Remember, if you're not able to get that horizontal relationship to the original point, just take your mouse down and hold your mouse over that original point. And there you can see now I can get that horizontal relationship or vertical relationship to that original point. And so now I can take that line that I used to make the plane, the end point of that line, and I can take the center point of my circle here, and I can make those coincident. So you just press I to make those coincident. And there we go. The tombstone is directly in line with the geometry we used to make the plane. And so now from here, what I can do is I can choose extrude, and I can say I want that to go up to body or up to part, and then pick this part here. And so let's reverse the direction. And there we go. Now we see that tombstone shape is running right up to the body of that part. And that looks pretty good. It looks a little bit funky here at the peak, but that may be... Oh, I see what I did there. I positioned the line incorrectly for that. The line should have been positioned a little bit differently. See, this is like Widow's Peak here. I wasn't expecting to see that. And now that I'm looking at the drawing again, I'm realizing that I made the line come directly from here. But that was incorrect. The line should have come from here, from the point of tangency. And then instead of making it coincident here, I should have made it coincident to the midpoint of the arc at that point of tangency. So let's go back and fix that. Sometimes we make mistakes when we're doing these drawings. It's all good. Let's go back to, don't panic. Nobody panic, okay? It's all good. So we'll just go back here to this sketch, and then let's get normal 2 on that sketch, and we're going to get rid of that coincident relationship on that point, and then that way we can drag this line up to here, and then we're going to say that that is going to be a relationship of tangent. So here to here is going to be tangent, and then we'll also make this point and this arc here coincident. So we press I, so T for tangent, I for coincident. And then just as a sanity check, I'm just going to make a perpendicular line here and just add a dimension from that perpendicular line to the origin, because that's where the dimension's coming from. Okay, and that's also 80. So that was just like a quick check just to make sure that it was 80. geometrically, it felt right. Felt like it should be right, but just wanted to double check and make sure. Okay, so we're getting that same 80 dimension that we need there, so that's good. And then we've got our new plane created here. And then in this sketch that's on that new plane, instead of this being a coincident relationship, so we can just go right here and get rid of that coincident relationship, it's going to be coincident to the midpoint of this arc. And so sometimes when I'm doing these types of relationships, I'll just kind of like explicitly drop a point in there, and then that way I can make that point and that point coincident. Sometimes I think that's a little bit easier to visualize what's going on. So now we exit that sketch, and there we go. There's our extrusion going up to that body, and that all looks good, except there's one problem. The problem is that we weren't really sure how deep this sketch needed to go in order to end up in the right place. So like this sketch here, we really weren't sure how deep this needed to go. Like if I go down too far, I'm going to be sticking out the bottom. If I don't go down far enough, then I'm going to end up in the scenario that I'm in right now. So, you know, maybe that requires some additional like intersection curve to get the perfect point. But the cool thing is in Onshape, we could always go in and use delete face and then pick this face here, and then you see Onshape extends it. Yeah, exactly. Sharor knows. Sharor knows. Yeah, delete face. We can just use delete face there, and then that extends it, and there we go. And now we've got that tombstone shape. Now, this was a lot of work, right? There was a problem here with this original sketch. The sketch was in the wrong spot, and then I had to make that additional plane, and then I had to make that sketch of the tombstone, and then I had to make this extrude, and then I had to clean it up with a delete face at the end. So this was a lot of work to really get this shape into the right spot and get it looking right. And then I presented this model during a tournament, and I saw Victor K create this model, and he took a very different approach to this feature. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all those extra features that I just created, and I'm going to go back to that sketch. And remember, we used this sketch originally to create the plane where we created the tombstone shape. Well, instead of creating a plane there, when I saw Victor K do this in the tournament, what he did was he started a second line here. So he made this first line tangent to this arc going up at 33 degrees, 80 millimeters. Then he created a second line here that went from this line perpendicular all the way down to the middle of the part. So let's get that perpendicular. There's perpendicular all the way down to the middle of the part, then over to the origin, and then up to this point here. So look at how beautiful that sketch is. It's like a work of art. It's so beautiful because now all Victor K had to do here was S key extrude, tab, tab, tab. The radius of that arc is 26, so 26 times 2, tab, 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 symmetric. And there we go. There's the tombstone shape in exactly the right location. And so now after that, all we have to do is add a fillet. So S key fillet. This is going to be a full round fillet. So it's going to be this, whoops, sorry. It's going to be this, and this. So full round fillet, and there it is. There is that beautiful tombstone shape. So instead of having to make all those features, you know, we just were able to do it in 3, and we know that this is exactly in the right spot along that shark arm. So when I saw Victor K do that in the tournament, I thought it was so awesome. I was like, no way. That, like, I spent so much time getting that right, and he just did it so quick. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Let's finish out this model here. I'm going to take this curve here, S key extrude, and we're going to make that an extrusion. Whoops, let me select that again. Very, very cool from Victor K there. This one is going to go through all, and it's going to be symmetric. And so that's going to give us the hole on that side. I guess I could have done the same thing on this side all in one step there. But let's do another extrusion, S key extrude. And this is going to be a remove. This one is also going to be through all symmetric. And then the way that I'm picking these regions on the inside is I'm just pressing the tilde key. So I'm just kind of in here. You know, this might be easier if I go to a front view. So I'm going to do Shift 1 to get to a front view here. And then I'm pressing the tilde key here that you can see it highlighting on my overlay. And that way I'm able to select these kind of internal regions to include in this extrusion. So there we go. That gives us that kind of key weight extrusion there. And then the final feature on this thing is the counter bore. So we're going to go hole, and we're going to say this is going to be a counter bore. This is going to be with the dimensions that are shown there, 16 millimeters. And then the depth of that is the counter bore has diameter 32 and then a depth of 8 millimeters. And then I'll use this button here, select mate connector. That way I can just pick the center of this face, and this will punch that hole all the way through. And so, Sharor, you know what I'm going to do. So P to get rid of the plane, Shift P to get rid of all those sketches, and then I'm going to do a delete face and just get rid of this extra face here, because that hole is not supposed to be going through the inside of that part. So just get rid of that extra face there. The part color already looks pretty good, like the print. So the only thing I need to do here is assign material. So this is down at the very bottom. I'm going to do assign material. I'm going to grab this material from the TooTallToby library, and the material is going to be 1060 alloy. Hit the green check mark, and then down here in the lower right, there is an icon for mass properties. So way down here in the lower right, there's an icon for mass properties. So I click that icon, click the body, and I come up with a mass of 1996 grams, 1996 grams. And so I would enter that one in, 1996 as my answer. And then let's go back to our presentation and see if we got it right. Oh yeah, 1996 is the correct answer. That's how we do it, baby. So that is your live solve of the shark arm. Pretty cool model, a couple of different ways to do it. Lots of cool lessons in there. If you guys enjoyed that, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about that live solve, how you solved it, and if you learned anything along the way. And with that, we are going to get into our answer here for the chat. I know you guys have been diligently working away at this other challenge, and we're going to take a look at the answer. But before we do, don't forget to support the channel. If you haven't liked yet, be sure to like. If you're here for the first time, be sure to share the channel with some of your coworkers, some of your network. And if you see me posting anything on social media, text or images or anything like that, just hit the reshare button. That way it shares it with your entire network too. If you're interested in getting on board with the value for value, you can visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. That's the best way to get involved there. And consider setting up a monthly recurring donation. Always very, very helpful. And of course, we have training coming up. That's another great way to support the channel. If you see me releasing any training-related content, be sure to visit, be sure to sign up. And we have training this week, CSWP prep, and possibly next week, intermediate assembly techniques. So get on in there, take some training, learn how to save some time in the world of SolidWorks. And with that, Amir says, I did the shark fin as a rib. Yo, that's pretty cool. Did the shark fin here as a rib. Wow. Nice job. I like that. And Aaron C coming in with a duplicate donation. Thank you so much. Says, I'm on board with the value for value. Wow, thank you so much, Aaron C. Very much appreciated. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, let's see who got this answer first, and let's see who got it correct first. So this is kind of a tricky model. I don't know if you guys did it with a loft, if you did it with a sweep, if you did it with surface modeling, if you did it with a boundary surface. I think Aaron C probably did it with an indent. So however you did it, Aaron C coming in 1, 2, 3, 4 grams. Aaron C revising 1,500 grams. Victor K 1,500 grams. Let's see here. Ricardo Jean 1,500 grams. 1,501 really. Mr. Alex 1,496. Rambros 1,581. Sharor 1,508. Jern 1,550. This is a great guide curve exercise. K Customs 1,581. Rambros 1,496. Amir Shea 1,500. Sharor 1,497. X Area 1,497. Rambros 1,581. Jern 1,515 and Build 123D. Very nice. Let's see what else we got here. My Fusion 360 crashed. Oh no. Let's see here. And I got that 1996. And Amir comes in 1383, and I think that's it. Guys, a very tricky model, not an easy model, but the correct answer, at least according to my tests, was 1497 grams. I got 1497 in SolidWorks, and I got 1496 in Onshape. And so it looks like our winner, I think, is Mr. Alex. Let's see here. 1,500, just outside of the range, Aaron C. Victor K, 1,500. Ricardo Jean, 1,500. Mr. Alex, 1497. I think with this one, maybe I needed to have just a slightly larger tolerance range, because I confess I tested this in SolidWorks using a sweep, not a loft, and then I did it in Onshape using a loft. So maybe if you did it with a loft in SolidWorks and you got 1497 plus or minus 4, then maybe we would consider that right also. maybe plus or minus 4. We consider that right also. But we can't go back in time, and this one is going to go to Mr. Alex, 1497. Very nice. GG to Mr. Alex. Rambros, nice job as well. Anybody who got that within a few grams, say like 4 or 5 grams, you did really good. You probably were on the right track, and it might just be a tolerancing issue on my end. But I saw some answers coming in there with that same type of an answer. Rambros 1496, Fusion 360, Sharor coming in 1497, very nice. X Area 1497. I'll bet these guys who were coming up with 1500 did it with a loft and not a sweep, which, again, that's probably a mistake on my end. I should have accounted for the tolerance on that one too. But GG to Mr. Alex. Very nice. Very, very nice. Did it with adaptive suite with math constraints. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these types of models, I have to be a little careful of. Usually in the tournament, the range will be like plus or minus 10 grams instead of plus or minus 2 grams, because you have to be a little bit careful. We ran into a little oopsie on that last year with, I think it was Aaron C. and Ivan the Reasonable, where the tolerance was too tight, and it really depended on some options in the loft. So trying to get a little bit better about that, and this is definitely good practice for me as well. But huge GG to Mr. Alex. Very nicely done. Can anyone share their step in Discord? I want to deep dive on what I did wrong. Jern, I gotcha. Awesome. Guys, don't forget to check out the Discord. And congratulations to our winners, and really congratulations to anybody who got that in such a short period of time. Those were not easy models today, but I really think you guys did awesome, and I want to say thank you to the most amazing chat ever. Don't forget, this week your challenge is to tell one coworker about the challenge. Let's get it to the point where you can't go anywhere in the world and talk about TooTallToby without people knowing about it. They're going to all know about it. I kind of said that awkward, I think. Don't forget, we got training this week, guys. We'd love to see 1 or 2 more students in the training. Email Vicky at TooTallToby.com if you have time this week, August 28th and 29th. And then, of course, August 30th, we got the tournament. The tournament is this Friday, August 30th. Don't forget to visit TooTallToby.com/calendar for those tournament appointments. Next week, September 2nd, I'm taking off. We're not going to have the live stream next week unless something changes. So I'm not going to be here next week. We'll be here again in 2 weeks on Model Monday Live. And, of course, we will be here this Friday and next Friday and every Friday at 1 p.m. for the tournament. Please join us during the tournament. Cheer on your favorite runner. We have some awesome runners in this tournament. We got to meet them a little bit earlier. But come on back. Cheer on our Sweet 16. Some of them are in here today in the chat, and we're very much excited to see them this Friday competing. So come on back. Cheer on your favorite runner. And, of course, guys, this is such an awesome way to start the week for me. I hope you guys have a great time every Monday here. If you want the party to continue, join us in the Discord. We have a lot of fun throughout the week in the Discord, chatting it up. And I will be sure to get you guys some more content this week. It's been a little bit lax, I'll say. It's been a little bit lacking, really probably is a better word. Hasn't been relaxing at all. It's been really crazy on the home front, but we're getting back into the groove now, and looking forward to having a lot of more great content for all of you. Guys, this is an awesome way to start the week. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will look forward to seeing everybody this Friday, 1 p.m., the 2024 World Championship of 3D CAD Speed Modeling. I'll see you, everybody.